What is going on, geeks and gamers? We are here, we are live, and we are ready to talk about video games and only video games because we never talk about anything else on this podcast but video games. We never talk about Star Wars or anything that Star Wars has been doing, about the High Republic, nothing. I'm sure it'll just be all about video games. And speaking of Star Wars, the biggest Star Wars fan I know is Lethal Lightning. How are you doing, Lethal?
This is the first time I've been on camera in about a month. I still forgot what I looked like, but I'm well, thank you.
Are you wearing a robe?
Yes, I wear a robe every time.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
That's true. And speaking of Star Wars, he has a Star Wars hat, so he must be a huge Star Wars fan.
I love Star
Jeremy,
Wars. I love
Geeks
Star
and
Wars.
Gamers, also
I
known
love
as
Star Wars.
D-Day Cobra.
Yeah, I love Star Wars. I love all Star Wars. All Star Wars is good Star Wars, and you can never criticize any Star Wars. If you do, you're a racist and a sexist, and you're going straight to hell unless you criticize white people, and then you're totally okay.
And then you're backed by the official Star Wars Twitter account. All it took was a couple hours of a black woman who hates white people getting shit on for Star Wars to come and back her against harassment. That's all it took. Mark the Cyborg, the beanie-less Mark the Cyborg with a dog.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it, but I'm getting used to it.
I have a Mogwai, so I must be a big Gremlins fan, I guess. I don't know. That's what she sort of looks like.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let's blow that up for a second. That is not a dog. Look at that thing.
Yeah, no, it's a Mogwai. You said it was a dog. I never said it was a dog.
Is that one of those dogs whose like tongue is
hell
too big for its mouth and it's always sticking out?
Well, yes, her tongue is always sticking out, but I think it's because she doesn't have any teeth on this side of her face. So,
what the? I have so many questions.
She's old, man. She's a 10-year-old dog.
We'll save it for another time because we have a guest that we're going to introduce. Everybody, if you have been playing the Geeks and Gamers video game Fact Blast, you probably know a little bit of something about the man who created it, T-Rev. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great, Ryan. Thank you all very much for having me today. I've been a big fan of Geeks and Gamers for 3 years, and I'm excited to be here.
Nice,
awesome,
man. And you know, as I said, you are the creator of Fact Blast, done all by yourself, and you kind of, from what I understand, you kind of surprised Jeremy when you reached out and just like, hey, just so you know, I've been working on this thing. Can you tell us a little bit about you know, what inspired you to make it and kind of the process that it took to get where it is today?
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, first, I do want to just point out that I am the only one wearing a Star Wars shirt today, so I think that makes me the biggest Star Wars fan.
And given some prequel era love. So
yes, I'm a big prequel fanboy, and also I'm with the Separatists, in case you couldn't tell.
Oh yeah, CIS.
Nice.
I've been accused of being a Confederate of sorts before, but 100% approve of the CIS.
Great. So yeah, about Fact Blast. Yeah, I became a big fan of Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers after The Last Jedi. I didn't like The Force Awakens. I didn't like The Last Jedi, and everybody on the internet was saying, wow, these movies are great. By the way, the prequels suck. And I just couldn't stand all the prequel hate. And then that kind of really drew me into Geeks and Gamers to becoming a big fan. And then I got the inspiration for the game from an old Angry Video Game Nerd video where he plays games that fans had made of him. And so I thought, you know, what if there was a game about Geeks and Gamers with Jeremy going around, like he could fight the NPCs and throw facts at them. And I thought, you know, maybe I should give it a try. And there was a time I was like, man, I can't actually do this, can I? But then as I started to, you know, write the code and learn the framework and draw the images and animate things, I thought, you know, I think I could actually make this happen. And just kept at it. And obviously there are more details to it. It's kind of a long story. And
it's incredible, man. I mean, when you sent me that email, you said, you know, Geeks and Gamers video game, and you added some things to it. You said, yeah, you know, develop this, hope you take a look at it. And I clicked on it and I just couldn't believe it. It was amazing. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a challenging game too. It's a very challenging game. I know not a lot of people, there's a few people that have talking about the difficulty of the game, but I think the difficulty is great. I mean, Ryan, have you beat it yet?
No, I can't get through the fucking factory, the NPC factory.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating. I got
locked up at the NPC factory too.
I'm happy that there's a challenge, because when I was playing it, I mean, I was very frustrated, but in a good way, because the challenge is it's enough to keep you it's not frustratingly bad to the point where it's not beatable, but it's definitely tough. But me, I'm sitting there going, this guy worked on this game for 2 years. I have to fucking beat the game that I'm the main character in. And I am going to upload that full footage for our premium members, but I was mad as hell, dude. But that final boss is difficult as hell. And what went into, and we won't give any spoilers about the final boss or anything like that, but what went into the process of just the difficulty level? Like, how do you as a developer, how do you manage that difficulty level? How did that process go?
Yeah, well, I've been a big fan of side-scrolling platformers for a really long time. Donkey Kong Country was my thing growing up. By the way, I'm a DK main in Smash, and Mario, other like 2D indie games. And I always thought that a game is just better if you don't know which way on the spectrum to lean, too easy or too hard. I'd say too hard is better. Like, look at the game Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That game's really difficult.
Very difficult.
But you get your money's worth with that game. By the way, one of the most underrated games of all time, best soundtrack of all time. But when you go through that and play it and you die over and over again, it makes you keep playing it. You put more time into it, and then it feels like an accomplishment when you beat it. And that's what I wanted this to be. I wanted it to be a real, true accomplishment when the player beats the game. And by the way, Ryan, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I've gotten so far is that I need to add you as a player character. So, but I mean, you got to beat the game, man. If you're gonna be in it.
Okay, well, all right. If it means I get to be in a video game too, then yeah, I'll get my ass on it and I will beat it. And the thing that is nice about it is because it's not. When you have these, 2D side scrollers and you can't get past the part, it's not because of anything other than your fucking self. You're only mad at yourself because you're just not doing something right. Whereas when we play, we have plenty of built-in excuses when we play Mario Kart or whatever, like, oh, this lag or that lag, this happened, that happened. No, you have no one to blame but yourself for why you're failing. But I do want to get in that game.
Well,
I do. Hold on, T-Rev. Listen, okay. I do have some criticism, but before Jeremy goes, I have some criticism because
here we go. This is gonna be about me.
Jeremy's ego is pretty big. I think most people would say he likes to call himself above average. I think everyone understands he's really referring to his ego, and the fact that you made him the star of a fucking video game, he will never stop talking about this.
No.
So you are directly to blame for the overinflation of this man's ego even more.
How many YouTubers have a video game about them?
That's right. Hey, but Ryan says this. Ryan is single-handedly responsible for giving me another channel that's about to break 100,000 subs in Sports Wars. If it wasn't for Ryan, I wouldn't have another channel. So technically, Ryan is just as responsible as T-Rev.
Well, I will take all of the credit and none of the blame. That's typically how I like to operate. But,
but it's pretty cool. I don't know how much, like, Mark. So where are you at on the game?
Same place Ryan stopped. I got to the red area of the factory. And the last time I played it was during last week's podcast, actually. So part of it was that my focus wasn't 100% on the game. I was kind of like doing the podcast as I was trying to beat the factory. And actually, could you tell me now, because I should know, what's the letter that I have to hit to get back to that level?
GS, right?
Is it GS to get to the factory? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it stands for Golden State.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
Every like 2-letter combination to get back to the level is like a hidden meaning to like that location.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool. Now, there was another. Chat. I want to know if the chat has anyone beaten Fact Blast at this point in the chat. I'm just curious. I don't know if I've heard from anyone that's actually beat it outside of me.
I'm just glad that listen, Mark is the absolute, PC master race. He loves 2D side scrollers. He's always talking to us about how we should do more stuff like that. And I'm at the same spot as him. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. That's all I'm saying.
I can't even beat the first level.
Dude, you should have saw Krista. You should have saw Krista playing it live. I was sitting there. We were on Friday Night Tights. I'm watching Krista play the game. And I'm sitting there watching her. I'm like, oh my God, stop. Like, you have to jump, but then don't jump on the final boss of the first stage. I was like going crazy. I finally texted. This is how bad it was, because Jay was in the chat. I'm like, Jay, help her. When I'm asking Jay to help someone at a video game, we're dealing with the bottom of the barrel at that point. But yeah, watching Krista play through it the first time, it really is kind of that old school 2D side scroller. It's all about timing and learning the timing and just going through the process. But yeah, I'm really excited for the next step. There's Jay now hearing me throw shade at him. But Jay, you got to play this live on Twitch, man. You got to do it. We got to see Drunk 3PO playing it live on Twitch. But T-Rev, the next question is the next video game. A lot of people are like, what are we going to do? Are we going to do something else? So you have expressed interest in doing another game, correct?
Absolutely. Originally, my plan was I was thinking that I would come on here and I was going to just get some fan feedback and then I was going to add to this game. But then after hearing Jeremy's input, I thought, that might be even better. And by the way, Jeremy, I've already added something in. You said that you wanted the bosses to have life bars. Well, I don't know if you plan on. I don't really expect people to play a second time, but the bosses have life bars now. I went ahead and added that in.
Nice.
And
that is
what you
awesome,
said.
actually.
Wait a minute. So are you saying that you as a developer are listening to the feedback of people that are playing the game and then adding some of those to benefit the game? Wow, what an idea. What an idea. That's the type of developer we need to support right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I don't know why. Like, I expressed this to EA, and they just wouldn't bring me on.
Well, yeah, like
you're not the kind of people they're looking for.
Well, they do have their like indie thing that like Fee and Unravel are on. I forget what it's called though. It's like the EA Indies or something like that. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Huh.
Now
this one might be a bit spicy for them.
Now, one thing T-Rev told me to is and this is something I think kind of speaks highly to him and his character. But I told him, I said, I want to get some support behind this game. We want to get you some finances. People maybe can donate. He said, I didn't do this for money. I'm really not worried about money. I just want to do it out of passion and being a fan of Geeks and Gamers. And that's awesome. And that shows you where his mindset's at. And I appreciate that. But I definitely want to, I know people have been donating. You've got to donate over there. T-Rev said $60.
It was EA Originals, by the way. It was the EA.
But I definitely, hope everybody will go and donate over there. You've got a place where people can support you, and not that you were doing it for that reason, but I hope that we can get that type of support for you. Now, so this next step, we talked about, obviously, Geeks and Gamers is a community-based, everything we do is community-based. We have a lot of people that help out here and there. For the next game, because this game took you 2 years all by yourself, correct? Backlash.
Except for the music. My buddy Luke did the music for me, but everything else was me.
And the music is so good, by the way. It really is. So if you're going to produce another game, if there's people, because you've had a few people express interest in helping you out, what are a couple of the crucial things that you would need people to volunteer to help with that could maybe help speed the process up if we decide to greenlight another project?
Yeah, absolutely. So what would really help with this is just to find 2 people that are passionate about Geeks and Gamers who, like me, understand that this probably isn't like we're not in this for any sort of financial gain. We're just trying to make something cool. And basically 2 people that I would really like to bring on, if they're out there, would be a pixel art artist, somebody who could draw and animate, who's got a better artistic style than me. Because if you've seen the game, it looks like it was drawn by a 5th grader, and that's because I do not claim to be an artist. That was the best I could do.
You did a great job.
The NPCs look pretty spot on.
Yeah.
The other type of person I would need would be a musician or a composer, like a video game music composer, somebody who could make the music, because I don't know if my friend Luke could do that again. So yeah, just 2 people like that would, if they want to come on and help with this next project. I definitely don't want it to be like a clone of Fact Blast. I want it to be something completely new, completely different mechanics. I want it to be a better game. I want it to look better, sound better, play better, and address, a lot of the concerns that the fans talk about. And also, I would like to get a lot of fan feedback. If we could set up some sort of forum or just have them comment on my videos. What type of things would they like to see in the game? I've seen a lot of great suggestions. But basically, yeah, I'm looking for those two people. And if they could reach out to Jeremy or me, my email is, well, it's kind of hard to say. I'd have to like type it in the chat somehow. But I would like for that's what we're looking for.
Okay, actually, and if you want me to, I'll just get you set up with a Geeks and Gamers email if you want, and we can T-Rev at Geeks and Gamers or something like that. We'll talk about that. But yeah, and then your YouTube channel where you're going to have updates for everything is T-Rev the Game Dev. So any mods, if you can get a link to that channel and drop it, and please everybody go subscribe to his channel. But yeah, it's exciting stuff, man. So I'm really happy about that. I know Ryan needs to get super chats, so we will probably continue the discussion of Fact Blast later on in the show. But Ryan, if you want to go ahead and jump on these super chats, and we'll follow back up with T-Rev later.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple super chats to get through, guys, and I think a few of them may address T-Rev, so we can answer those before we move on to the next couple topics here. Bweezy Bird for $5. If you need a Sports Wars topic, go to Rachel Nichols' Twitter, where she talks in a bit about Biden making the White House cool again for athletes. Ain't nothing cooler than an 82-year-old white man. That's what I've always said. Thank you, Bweezy Bird. We do need to get back on Sports Wars for sure.
Yeah,
Bweezy Bird for $2. Rachel said NBA players will help Biden stutter. What? Oh my God! We need to check that out. Thank you.
Look into that.
Mr. Gentleman for $2. Hitman 3 is amazing. That is all. Lethal, was it you that was talking about Hitman 3 was crashing a lot?
I saw a lot of people were saying that I haven't played Hitman in years. I used to be right into it, but I saw a lot of people were saying that they were having a lot of connection issues when it first launched.
Just connection issues. Okay.
Well, the launch was kind of a train wreck as well because
Epic, right?
It's not necessarily kind of, but not exactly, because the first two Hitman games on PC were on Steam, and a lot of people own them on Steam. But Hitman 3 allows you to use all those stages from the first two games with new content, like new targets and new features. But because people own it on different storefronts, they didn't really work out how to have you able to use your Hitman 2 stages in the Epic version properly. So the only solution was kind of to buy Hitman 2 again on Epic.
Right.
And then they were trying to fix that, and I think that caused a lot of crashing issues. So it was sort of a train wreck launch. But that game comes out in January 2022 for me anyway, so I'm not worried about it.
But the good news is for that is that they did, like, there were people, again, we're going to talk about this later, there were people that were really upset about the fact that would have had to be how it was, and they tried to make it work, and they did get it sorted, and they're still working through bugs from what I understand. But now there is some sort of connectivity between people that bought it on Steam and people that bought it on Epic.
If you're on console though, I don't think there was any issues on the console version, so you should be okay.
Console.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on the PS4 version of Cyberpunk, Ryan. I swear to God.
I was gonna say, yeah, console never have any issues.
Consoles only they're 100% perfect until they're not, and then it's someone else's fault, right?
Probably CD Projekt Reds. Tupac Shakur for $2. Hail G&G. Happy Saturday to the realest crew. Well, thank you, Tupac. You're Kamala's favorite living rapper. So what's up, Tupac? Good to see you here, buddy.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's Sunday for Lethal. That's right.
It's 5 in the morning, man.
Move over here. Geeky Pixie for $5. Good morning, G&G and chat. Good morning, Geeky Pixie. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yellow Flash 2 is exposing Lethal Lightning. Lethal Lightning is on Twitter when he should be paying attention to the stream. You need to keep this guy in line. Very disrespectful.
That man is my Carol Baskins. He is just outright obsessed with me, man.
Lethal's in Australia, so he's on Twitter in the future. It's fine.
One thing about our little corner of the internet is everybody gets made fun of in some capacity. I love Yellow Flash. Like every time Lethal tweets, Yellow Flash just responds with a kangaroo.
Just the kangaroo chewing.
He's memed Ryan to I don't even
literally
know
into oblivion. He's literally memed me into oblivion. There's nothing left of me at this point. When he continues to make his Last Jedi memes, but hail Yellow Flash.
I hear he hangs around Walmart at 3 in the morning looking for cigarette butts on the ground.
There you go. Roger Haynes for Canadian $2, thumbs up, super sticker. Thank you, Roger. Mr. Bidwell for Canadian $4. Which framework did you use to build the game?
Probably haven't heard of it. I wrote the game in JavaScript using a free framework called Phaser. Yeah, I didn't use Unreal or Unity or anything like that. I think you have to pay for those. I've never even tried using those.
There you go. So Phaser is what he used, Mr. Bidwell. Geeky Pixie for $2. The game looked great to me, old school Mario style.
Oh yeah.
And just as frustrating when you can't get past levels as it used to be in Mario.
Ryan, you got to record yourself playing the final boss. I can't imagine the rage that you're going to have.
I'll probably stream it on Twitch at some point to try to get through that the last 2 levels, I suppose.
You let me know. I will watch that. You're gonna rage so much.
Jeremy's like, yeah, if you play a video game with me, I'll watch you. Oh, thanks, Jeremy.
You always come onto your stupid ass streams.
I know. Ironcaster for $5. How about a G&G RPG a la Final Fantasy?
Oh, that was my...
Ryan could be a raging wizard casting nuclear F-bombs. Mark can get a machine gun leg, and Jeremy is the fighter.
I think like that. I have a spoiler alert on my super chat coming up. I actually suggested the same thing, and I think that it's interesting to be able to write an old like Final Fantasy style JRPG, like the old 8-bit or 16-bit ones, because you could get a lot of content out of it. Like this is like the dungeon that you go through, and then at the end of it, you find Lethal Lightning, and he joins the party, and then like a whole chunk of the story of the game. Well, dungeon colloquial term for like an area you get through in an RPG, Lethal. It doesn't have to actually be a dungeon. It could be a forest.
I think you're hinting at something there.
Yeah, okay. You get through the Outback and you find Lethal Lightning. He joins your party, but I mean the writing can kind of write itself for the most part because you can get a lot of mileage out of being like this is the area where you recruit this party member.
Have Lethal surrounded by all the women, so. Have all these women just...
find Lethal in a harem.
Yeah,
art reflects life,
and it's all Sailor Moon characters.
That's cool. Sorry, I'm alright with that.
There's a lot of possibilities, and like I said, the more you guys support us over on geeksgamers.com, the more we can do things like this. I know people have asked me about potentially crowdfunding something like this. I've never been into crowdfunding, but when you're talking about a project of this magnitude, like. The more resources you can have, you can clearly do a lot more when you have more resources. But it's something I would have to talk to T-Rev about and get those details. But sky's the limit. The more support we get, the more we can do.
Hell yeah. Then Mark the Cyborg follows up with an afterthought. I vote to make the next G&G game a JRPG. And like they literally came like back to back. I saw them when they came in, so just a little late. Probably that Canadian internet, Mark. Chris Arcella for $5. T-Rev, for your next game, have it be about Lethal and have him on a mission scoring hot anime chicks in bed.
Write that one down. That's a good
that would be the definition of a fantasy.
So. Goes from being a side quest to being the entire game within one super chat.
I'd have to make it rated M.
There you go. So, probably sell better at that point.
And make it AO and it'll sell really well.
It's basically just a DLC that turns into an actual game. They call it Lethal Lightning Miles Morales or something.
Kenzie Taylor's the final boss.
Ooh.
I could speak to it. We could make it happen.
Borg for $5. I hope he can make a Phantom Menace game similar to the Cobra Kai or Marvel Alliance's game. The main boss could be Kathleen Kennedy. And that's kind of like, from what I understand, the Cobra Kai game is basically like a side scroller,
I want to play that
fighting game, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was basically.
Yeah, like the Double Dragon is what I've heard. Double Dragon, yeah.
The genre is called a beat 'em up.
Beat 'em up. There it is.
Oh yeah, that's different from a platformer.
Yeah. I would love to have some. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, what he mentioned about Kathleen Kennedy. Actually, when I had the idea in my head at first, and it was March 2019 is when I started on this thing. Originally, I had that idea. I thought, oh, Kathleen Kennedy could be the final boss. But then as I went on, I thought, maybe it's not a great idea to make a game where you beat up a woman and release it.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Lethal's going to be like, totally, we should do that.
even though the idea is you're throwing facts, meaning like it's verbal, like with the NPCs, when you say something that they know is true, like they get angry, they got the eyebrows going down.
I love when they get mad.
That was a really nice touch.
Yeah,
I actually wasn't gonna have that. Originally, it's just you hit them and they just keep having the same face. Shout out to my friend Eric for that idea.
That's hilarious. Like that's the first thing I noticed. I like busted out laughing because it really is so funny to make them just go from the NPC face to angry NPC face.
Well, the angry NPC face memes are usually pretty good too.
Yeah,
like the one where like, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I've seen some really solid ones, and it's often the just like no response NPC angry face is pretty
well, the
awesome.
best part is they get angry when you initially hit them with a fact.
Yeah,
which is perfect. I mean, it's just perfect. They're walking around just being NPCs, and then all of a sudden a fact hits them, and it makes them really mad. It's perfect.
Yeah, you could basically equate that to something like an NPC saying, the Star Wars Twitter account is just standing up against bullying and harassment. You could be like, what about the months of harassment that Gina Carano has received? They've been fucking silent about that. Angry NPC face. There it is. There's your meme, Mark. WrestleMania for $5. Y'all hear about the female-centric Naughty Dog Star Wars game executive produced by Neil Druckmann and Pablo Hidalgo?
Oh my God, Ryan would have to start a new channel.
Yeah, I would. My channel would hit 100K in no time if that happened. Please make it so. That's what I want. Neil Druckmann to.
Neil had that quote last week where he was talking about the different things he'd like to work on, and Half-Life was up there. I was like, oh my God, no.
The Punisher.
Don't work on Half-Life.
Punisher. Could you imagine his Punisher? Like, you kill everyone around you, and then you get to the people that killed your family, and you forgive them at the end.
After they bite your fingers off.
God. Rooftop Karina is bound for the gulag for $5. Anyone catch how a bunch of 4chan-tisms ripped off a bunch of elite hedge fund managers and raised the GameStop stock price? Absolute mad lads. I don't know if you guys saw that yesterday.
I saw that the GameStop stock price went up, and because I noticed I had a bunch of people saying, "Okay, now's the time to sell my GameStop stock." I was like, "Oh, probably."
I don't know the details behind it, but apparently it was basically like a Reddit troll, essentially, that raised the stock value. It was up 70% at one point, and then they halted trading due to volatility. Like it was an absolute crazy thing. GameStop, which has just been in the shitter for so long, stock in one day is up 70%.
4chan.
Yeah. Yellow Flash for $2. Another expose. Lethal Lightning has a Sailor Moon body pillow.
No, I don't. Wait,
as you would.
He's gonna prove it.
I
love how it cuts to Shinji with the coffee.
All right, only a couple more, and then we will move on. Ironcast for $5. Drunk never joins the party. I got to see what Gina is up to. For $5. Well, thank you, Ironcast. Jay was here. Jay was partying with us.
Yep.
Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $2. Now, this is an interesting thought. Next G&G game should be a JRPG. What do you guys think of that? That's an interesting concept.
I think we have a meme cooking.
I have Lightning and Tifa from Final Fantasy.
Nice.
That's your pillow, right?
Yep.
And Tifa. Okay.
I missed all the 13 games, but I approve of Tifa.
It is. Ross Gecko for $2. How dare anyone talk Gina Carano without drunk 3PO? He was here. We count it. He was in the chat, so we will count it. We are allowed to bring him up or bring her up when Jay's in the chat.
True.
But so a lot of good feedback for Fact Blast, and we're glad you could be here with us, T-Rev. We got another interesting topic to talk about the general world of gaming instead of just Jeremy's fantasy where all games are made about him. And this is about Xbox. Now, Xbox and Microsoft fucking stepped in it yesterday hard. And I thought that we were going to be able to come on the podcast today and just literally tear them a new asshole. Like I was so ready for it. But then something happened. There was gamer outrage, as it's often called by the journalists.
Toxic gamer outrage that never helps.
Right, never helps. Although it's almost like when you make your voice heard, it can have change. It can mean that something changes. That's exactly what we saw. Mark, can you kind of lay out this situation for us, what Xbox was doing and then how they backtrack.
All right, so they released a statement to, I believe, a publication called Xbox Wire, seemed to be the one that was reporting it the most, that Xbox Live Gold subscriptions, not to be confused with Game Pass, were increasing by $1 a month, which really doesn't sound overly bad if you're thinking, okay, that's an extra $12 a year. But what you got to kind of factor in is that 1 month card, like a 1 month subscription, is much more expensive than a 3 month card, which is much more expensive than a 12-month card. So the 1 month price was going up $1. The 3 month price was going up $5. So already the math's not working out. And the 1 year subscription was being totally eliminated. And for the same price that 1 year used to be, you can now renew for 6 months. So effectively, it meant that in order to access half of the features of a game that you've already played for, if it's a game that has single play paid for, if it's a game that has a single player mode and a multiplayer mode, you would have to be paying an additional $120 a year to access part of a game you own, which is horrendously stupid. They thought that they were doing a mea culpa or like kind of a like, hey, but don't worry about it. That from in some of the more kind of normie tier Facebook gaming groups that I keep an eye on, people were defending, being like, oh, well, it doesn't affect me because they said that as long as I keep renewing my subscription, I keep paying the same price. But for anyone that was debating between a PS5 and a Series X that might say just play Call of Duty or just play FIFA, like they don't play a whole lot of games, but they like playing games online with their friends, they'd have to decide, okay, am I going to be paying an extra $120 a year in order to play the $160 game I'm going to buy every year? So it was a really, really dumb move. But at around midnight, I think, or something last night, it was after midnight that I noticed, the marketing manager, I forget the guy's name, Aaron Greenberg, I think, basically tweeted saying, yeah, we're not doing that. We heard you guys, prices aren't going up, and we're now no longer requiring an Xbox Live Gold subscription for free-to-play games. So
yeah. So, and like, let's get it straight. The reason they did this was to try to force more people into Game Pass. Yeah. That's very much the way that everyone understands it. Because with Game Pass, you do get Xbox Live Gold included in that. So they were raising that to make it more, to incentivize people to just go ahead and make the move to get Game Pass. Yeah. And it blew up in their faces because so many people were calling them out. And you saw, like, if you just had searched Xbox Live about 12 hours ago, you would have seen just a massive amount of people shitting on Xbox and saying, well, I guess I'm going to PlayStation. That makes it pretty easy. And like Mark said before, even for free-to-play games, you required this Xbox Live Gold to even play free-to-play games. Yeah,
which is where Sony had one up on them. So if a kid just wanted to play Fortnite and nothing but Fortnite, which sadly there's a lot of kids out there that's kind of their deal, they would be stupid to get an Xbox over a PS4 like last generation, because that's the one that, like, Fortnite goes from being a free game to being a game that costs them $60 a year to play. So, like, I don't know. It's
this just continues to show how out of touch Xbox always is. This is why they're so far behind with Sony. They just always make stupid decisions. They make tone deaf decisions. And yes, look, they deserve credit for correcting it. They do, but the decision, who thought this would be a good decision to begin with? This is a fucking terrible decision. This is awful. And yeah, I'm like Ryan. I was ready when I heard this. I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna rip them apart for this, and they backed off of it. But like Mark said, I mean, if you look at PlayStation, you look at the Switch, they both have paid for subscriptions, but they don't require you to have those to play these free to play games. And Xbox continues to be out of touch with a lot don't believe.
Does Nintendo actually? I'm not like. Does anyone play Fortnite or something on Switch?
Yeah, you don't have to have it for Nintendo to play Fortnite. But or any free to play games, to my knowledge. Yeah, with Xbox, I mean, and I've continued to say this is a big problem for them, and it is a big problem for them. And the naming is so stupid for these systems, and it just continues to show their bad decision making. Like, these are things you need simplicity for the general gamers, the general public, to follow your stuff. The Xbox naming thing is confusing, and their decision making from a corporate level is very confusing to me on everything they do. And this was as bad of a decision I've seen in a long time. And it speaks volumes to how bad it was because of how quickly they responded. And to the point Ryan was making and Mark was making, this is the whole thing. Every time gamers complain, fans complain, you have the mainstream media and everybody saying, oh, these entitled gamers are just toxic and blah, blah. This is what happens when enough people speak up. People have the power if enough voices are willing to speak up and hold these fucking companies accountable for their bullshit. This is why people need to rally together more. So kudos to the gamers out there that rose up and let these fucking idiots know that this was such a terrible decision. This is what matters. Fans' voices matter. And the more fans stick together for the common goal of holding these companies accountable, the more we're going to benefit in the future.
If it had been reversed, do you think if it was PlayStation and Sony that made the bad decision, do you think they would have backtracked on it?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I don't think that they would have made this all-time bad of a decision. I mean, look, Sony's done some stupid stuff. I understand that, and they've got a lot of problems. But this is a big problem.
See,
Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say that I don't think this is actually a scenario with Microsoft being out of touch or whatever. I think that I think this just like took off, where they've probably done a lot of things like this that are very anti-consumer, anti-gamer, and a couple people complain, and then it gets, whatever, tossed by the wayside. But every once in a while, you see these huge things that pick up traction and take off, and they're kind of forced to address it when they're just hoping it'll slide under the radar like a million other things they've done. And so I think that it's more they knew what they were doing. This was like trying to very subversively try to force people to get Game Pass. Because like Mark has said many times, that is their standard now. They want people subscribed to Game Pass. That is the future for Microsoft. So I think they just got caught a little bit, and you probably see 10 things that happen like this every day that no one really complains about, but this one just took off and went viral.
Well, part of the things that made it really scummy too is in the statement they mentioned the $1 extra a month and the $5 for 3 months, but they did not mention that, oh, and by the way, now if you want a year, it's double the price, by the way. But also, I think the important thing is to know, before we move too far away from, would Sony do the same thing? Remember that at the beginning of the PS4 generation, Sony did like an incalculable price increase because they had PlayStation Plus on PS3 prior to PlayStation 4, but PlayStation Plus just used to be cloud saves that they didn't have by default, and free games every month. So it was, and discounts on the store as well. So if you played a lot of PlayStation games, PlayStation Plus was still worth getting, but it wasn't really required at all. And then they just decided, oh, well, Microsoft's getting away with charging people $60 a year to play online, because PS3 was 100% free to play online multiplayer for every game, not just for games that you had to buy, which I think, honestly, it should probably be the other way around. Or actually nothing at all, realistically. But I think that Sony, a lot of the justification people were using was that Sony is very likely getting ready to increase their prices as well. I think if that was the case, Microsoft was stupid to go first, especially considering their current position in the industry. But I think it ties back to sort of the topic of that op-ed video on Game Pass that I made, saying that the biggest thing that Microsoft needs to figure out how to do is how to market Game Pass, like how to actually get the message out about why Game Pass is a worthwhile service. And I think this was a really botched attempt to do that, because I think they were trying to make it that they were trying to make it so that people would look at how much they're spending on Xbox Live Gold every month and then just be like, oh, for an extra $2 I could, or whatever it would be a month, I could get Game Pass Ultimate and then have like 200 extra games to play. And I think they should have done that by lowering the price of Game Pass, and then maybe done the boiled frogs thing where like you raise it by like $1 or so every 6 months until it's up to where you want it to be. But I don't think they did it well here.
Well, I think their marketing should. I mean, again, Game Pass is fantastic, and Mark has been, telling us that for a long time now. But again, the way you market the products that you have is to make it easily accessible for your consumer. Their naming is fucking terrible, and it's a problem. I will die on this hill because it's fucking stupid. Xbox Series X, Xbox One X, Xbox One S. It's just. Nobody know. Generally speaking, people don't know what the fuck to buy. Yeah, the people like us know, but that's not who the market is going to like. PlayStation 4. Hey, there's the next one. It's called a PlayStation 5. It's pretty fucking easy to understand what that means. Marketing matters. Wii to the Wii U. Nobody knew what the fuck a Wii U was. It's the stupidest name ever. It was bad marketing.
The Wii was stupid too. Fuck the Wii.
The Wii was stupid, but it worked. But the point was Nintendo was dumb because they thought that people that bought the Wii were going to buy the next Wii, but they were not smart enough to understand what the Wii U was. But with Xbox, you have Game Pass, and if you have a system that's marketed properly with a good name that's easy for the consumer to understand, we still have GameStop moms that are calling asking for a Nintendo for their kid who wants a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, but the GameStop mom goes and says, I want the new Nintendo, because they don't understand these things. So Game Pass is a great product, but without Xbox marketing properly, it's not going to work. Xbox is going to be behind forever from PlayStation. They're never going to catch them because they're fucking stupid. And this is just another example of their stupidity.
Yeah. And then, T-Rev, as someone who literally has just showed us how you took the fan feedback and already integrated it in the game. What's kind of your thoughts about this on what Xbox was trying to do and how quickly they turned around on it?
Yeah, honestly, a lot of I sense a lot of anger, a lot of negativity here, but my focus is on the fact that they decided to reverse the decision. They listened. And that's powerful. That's some good news going forward. This reminds me of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So many people complained about the look, and they listened. They made the change.
Yeah.
And I think, wasn't it? There were many years ago when Microsoft was going to, like, if you wanted to watch a movie on the Xbox, they were going to actually scan the room for how many faces there were and charge based on that. And it was kind of the same thing. So many people complained about it that they reversed that decision too. So honestly, I kind of see it as this is empowering for the fans going forward. We should be optimistic about this.
Yeah,
Hollywood's probably calling Microsoft up and being like, "So I hear you have some technology with movie theaters kind of going down the tubes. We might want to buy this off you."
Yeah, and that should. It's just like Jeremy was saying. These fucking the fucking cucks in the media that just. They want you to slide up right next to these developers, maintain these relationships, and show for them, and the companies in general. They are like, you shouldn't voice your opinions, toxic gamers. When in reality, that is how you change things, by voicing your opinion, by getting upset when they do things like this. You should be upset when they do things like this, and you should make your voice heard. And this just goes to further that, to show you that when it happens, it can have an impact. If it looks like it'll affect their bottom line, they're going to make changes, or at least they should if they care.
Gamers rise up.
Yeah, I mean, T-Rev's got a good point, because it kind of, in isolation anyway, there's a comparison with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and what happened, because that movie was successful, not because it was a great movie. It was fine. It was decent. But if that movie would have released as the version we saw in that first trailer, it would have tanked miserably. It would have been a disaster, but they listened. They took the fan feedback, and that went a long way. Now, can Xbox capitalize off of this momentum? I don't think so. Yeah, I like Phil Spencer. I do. I like Phil Spencer. And I think having that identifiable person to lead your company is important in certain aspects. We had Reggie with Nintendo for so many years, and that was always somebody to connect. We've never really had that person with Sony. But again, their entire marketing strategy has worked. But Phil Spencer, I think he's been good for Xbox, but there's just a lot of issues that they're going to have to address if they are directly competing with PlayStation. That has been a competition for a long time. You go back to the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 was fucking cool. Like, it was just cool. That was the gamers system. That was just it. And then you had that disastrous E3. From, what was it, 2012, 2013?
You mean the Xbox One announcement?
Yeah,
That wasn't E3. That was an event they had in, I think it was March. No, it wasn't E3.
It was an E3.
It was E3.
Guys, trust me, it wasn't. Both PlayStation 4 and Xbox had events prior to E3, like in the spring, where they did their first initial announcements. And that was the Call of Duty and Cable one that they often call it, because they had nothing but cable TV and sports, and then they showed Call of Duty, and they had the one clip of Call of Duty Ghosts. They were like, yeah, there's fish that individually animate.
But their E3 event was the disastrous event for them. That was the problem.
And I'm telling you, it wasn't E3. It was the announcement of the Xbox One, which happened in like March or April. It was spring. It wasn't summer.
Is that where like they were focused on like, hey, you can plug your cable into the Xbox One?
Cable and Call of Duty. It's like the thing that all they had to talk about was TV sports and the Call of Duty Ghosts, and all they showed from Call of Duty Ghosts was swimming, and they're like, look at how we animated the fish. And like everyone playing Call of Duty is like, I don't care about the fucking fish. Who cares about the fish?
Women. That's what the women cared about. Halo.
Okay, go ahead.
What's your favorite Terminator movie?
Oh boy. This is always a thing on this show.
Oh, okay. The Terminator is one of those rare franchises where the sequel's better than the original. Terminator 2, that's everybody's favorite, almost everybody's favorite, mine as well. The scene where Sarah Connor like has the broken arm and she's using the shotgun one-handed. Oh my god, that was so cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So you said, almost everyone's favorite. The two of the people in the world that think Terminator 1 is better are on this panel with you. Their names are not Ryan or Jeremy.
No, they're not. They're not.
Foreigners.
Terminator 2 is objectively the best. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And Terminator Salvation. I even like Salvation more than Terminator 1.
He's fucking with you. That's not true.
I said no way that's true. No. I said I like it more. I didn't say it was better. I said I like it more.
You like it more?
I do like it.
You're discrediting the argument you just made for Terminator 2.
No. Because I didn't say it was objectively better.
Well, it's kind of like saying, no, Empire Strikes Back is better than the original Star Wars, but Last Jedi is my favorite one.
Yeah, it's like
it discredits your argument. Even if you're right.
Hold on. You can't compare Terminator Salvation and The Last
I'm
Jedi.
I'm not at all.
You literally
I'm not. No, Jeremy, I'm not. No, you're changing the argument to a different thing again.
If I said I like Dark Fate more than Terminator 1.
No, Jeremy, I'm talking about discrediting yourself. It's the same. Actually, here, I'll take a totally different example that has nothing to do with you. I was watching a video today talking about how Attack on Titan was a masterpiece, and the first line the guy has in the video is, what are some of the greatest television shows of all times? You'll probably say Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. And this was after season 8 came out, and I was like, nah, this guy's already discredited his argument. Even if he's right about Attack on Titan, it's like, well, if you're saying Game of Thrones is one of the best television shows ever,
saying something is one of the best is an objective stance. Saying something is your favorite is a subjective opinion. I subjectively said I like Salvation more than Terminator 1. Terminator 1 is a better movie. But saying Dark Fate is my favorite over Terminator 1 would be the comparison of The Last Jedi and Empire Strikes Back.
I'm saying that I was not talking specifically about the details. I was talking about the concept of discrediting yourself after making a point.
He's like the concept of going to someone for like financial advice when they're fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. That's basically what
and having them tell you about your debt right after they give you their financial advice. Like, I've been paying off credit card debt for years. I know all about this.
T-Rev, you have to add a side quest in the next game about a random Terminator argument just for no fucking reason whatsoever. Like it can't have any logic to it. Just for some reason, you have to just go on a side quest and argue over Terminator movies. That would be
plot twist marks the final boss.
Yeah, Salvation's amazing though. I love Salvation. I love it.
All right, we need to stomp this right now. This podcast has no diversity. We have an Australian and a Canadian, and one of them only has one leg, and one of them has three.
I love how the chat was like, here we go, there it is. They're always waiting for that argument moment. It happens every fucking stream.
People like watching a dumpster fire.
We don't plan that shit out, I promise.
Yeah, I was wondering when I came on here, was everybody gonna be like, oh man, another white guy?
You're not gonna hear too much of that from the Geeks and Gamers crowd, just be honest. But
it'll be the people watching a clip of our podcast, and then their only criticism is gonna be, oh god, it's 5 white guys.
Yeah. I mean, we have add the woman for a minute just so we can screenshot it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you
there.
go.
See? There we go. You want to say anything?
Huh?
Yeah, let her talk.
That was enough. That was enough. But speaking of video games, at the end of the day, overall, what could have been an absolute disaster from Xbox turns into a good thing. And in fact, they even made it better than it was before. Not only they revert to the prices, but now, like Mark said, you can play free-to-play games on it just like you could PlayStation before. So Xbox turned a very bad thing into a.
I will say, though, I think they should get rid of Xbox Live Gold entirely. Scrap the free games and just have it be that online play on Xbox is free, because that would actually give them a significant advantage over PlayStation. And you can also play a lot of those same games like Gears of War and Halo on Xbox Live for free on PC. So, like, the idea that, like, oh, no, they need that money to maintain the servers, that's kind of a load of shit. They need that money because people pay it, and they know they can keep charging it.
There you go. Got a couple super chats here. That 70s rock fan for $5 for your game, you should be able to buy a Neil Druckmann theme. You could call it a micro penis transaction.
Oh, my.
Damn.
That's pretty good. I like that. I might have to use that. Thank you, that 70s rock fan.
We could totally I can totally we can talk to my attorney and everything, and we can figure out how to dance around it. We can make like parody characters of people like Neil Druckmann and Brie Larson to be
Neil Druckmann.
We could totally make the parody versions of them to be bosses in the next Geeks and Gamers game.
I mean, when Krista played the game, she dubbed the second boss Brie Larson, and I'm not confirming or denying.
Oh man, I love it! I can't wait. I want to play it. I'm going to play Fact Blast again. It's got a great lead character, by the way. A great lead character.
So that was my problem when playing it, because I'm playing as Jeremy. I just had this natural instinct to push him in the direction of harm.
Isn't the second boss the tomato, the rotten tomato?
I mean, it's a tomato.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. I was like, wait, was the second boss like a woman or something? I feel like I was remembering it wrong.
It represents Brie Larson on her period. I believe maybe that's what the joke is. Sleepy Panda for €5.49. Day one of government curfew. Happy to watch 4 handsome men and Jeremy. Thank you, Sleepy Panda. We appreciate that. I'm not sure where you're at in Europe that you're locked down, government lockdown, but that sucks. Things are going to get worse before they get better. Now, everything's getting better. They got vaccines out, and now they're saying, oh, well, by the way, there's a new strain that's, twice as bad. Better get the vaccine. So we know this. We know how it goes. 2-inch Kennel for $2 says, hail. Shout out to Drunk 3PO. Hail Gina. And then 2-inch Kennel with another $2 super chat. GameStop moms or mams. Hail Drunk 3PO. Thank you, 2-inch Kennel.
Every time we get another super chat, I keep thinking about another, like one of the final bosses, and the next one should be the GameStop ma'am. It totally should. It should just be.
That one might not go over well.
Can you have a golf club?
Yeah, totally make it.
Just have it be Abby.
Just make it Hulk Hogan, like a parody of Hulk Hogan, and like it is ma'am.
Well, that's that South Park did that. It was Macho Man. Like it was actually like Randy Savage.
Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Man, my best friend had that same suggestion. He's like, "Oh, what about the it's ma'am?" And you got to be careful with the whole like using somebody's likeness, because Regular Show, I don't know if any of you guys watch Regular Show, but they had I guess it was a parody of Billy Mitchell, the cheating Donkey Kong player named Garrett Bobby Ferguson. He came after him hard. So
of course he did.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean
that's something here too.
Yeah,
I thought the boss designs were pretty good. They
no,
all
they
seem pretty
really
clear
are.
as to what they were like supposed to be. Though I haven't seen the last one. But
yeah. The last one is, I'm serious. I can't wait to see Ryan play the final boss.
Yes, please, Ryan.
The Chicago one took me a second. I was like, wait, so it's a bird? And I was like, oh, it's Twitter. Jeremy's fighting Twitter.
Yeah.
Maybe he is.
Russian Bob for $2 exposes himself as Jeremy's alt account. Nintendo is king. The Switch Pro will rule all.
Well, I wouldn't have said Switch Pro if it was my alt account, but Nintendo is king. There's no doubt about that.
Jalen Sillenstein for $2. Hey, I'm Swiftbird94 from Twitch. Hey guys,
Hell yeah.
What's up, Swiftbird? Glad you could make it here. Swiftbird has been so supportive over on Twitch as so many other people's channels.
Swiftbird.
Awesome.
So Krista had me give you the VIP badge over on Twitch. So you do have the VIP badge. You've been super supportive of all of us. So we appreciate that so much. So thank you. And we all do appreciate it. All of our channels, you've been really supportive. So good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man. And that's it for this. Oh, hold on. Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $5. A coworker was saying the reason Disney Star Wars sucks is because George sold rights after episode 9. Then JJ and Michael Bay fucked it up. I just walked away. Is that a real conversation you had?
You can never tell with Blue-Eyed Scorpio.
I don't know. But thank you, Blue-Eyed Scorpio. Yeah, George sold the rights after episode 9. That must have been it. JJ and Michael Bay just really fucked things up. But speaking of video games and speaking of people cheating at video games, Lethal brought to our attention some Modern Warfare, well, I guess Call of Duty Warzone cheaters. They got caught cheating in a $250,000 tournament. Well, I pulled a video up here, Lethal. What do you know about this?
So basically it was on Twitch Rivals. So lots of people watching, all different streamers competing against each other on, I think it's quads, so 4-on-4s. $250,000, and there was some sketchy plays going on. And 2 people got accused of cheating. Both of them got booted from the tournament and had their whole team disqualified. One guy, they kind of feel like, okay, maybe he didn't, maybe we jumped the gun on one of them. But the other guy, I think his name's like Mizzy or something. No, there's another guy, Misty or something like that. He's the guy that they're pretty sure cheated. And a lot of the clips are his clips. And you look at some of them, especially this one you're about to show here, and I don't think there's any defense for this one. But the only thing he has going for him is, can you actually prove that he did it? But you look at the clip and it looks like cheating to me.
Yeah, we'll take a little look at this clip here that Lethal's talking about. Here we go.
See, that looks normal. That's bullshit right there. You see the way it snaps, and this guy breaks it down.
He thinks, chat. This guy thinks that he doesn't think. Sorry, you see how his auto aim when the guy jumps out of the window. Are you ready? That guy jumps out the window. Now watch this. Watch his aim lock onto the guy by accident because the riot shield isn't giving all.
Yep. See how it snaps to the other guy straight away,
and then immediately back to the guy.
Yeah. Yep. I'll repeat what Ryan said before we went live. If that happened to me, I would just be like, yeah, I just fucking suck. Like I wouldn't have even known to catch that.
Yeah, I just, when somebody fucking annihilates me, I just assume it's because I'm fucking shitty. I just think that there's a lot of people that are really good out there. But like you said, like it is very clear. So that's how basically a lot of people cheat in this game is use aim bots. Mm-hmm. And that will immediately lock onto a target. And you can see that what happens. And as soon as he eliminates this dude, watch it how quickly it snaps back to this person. See that?
Like it keeps going as well. It keeps going. He kills people inside.
Oh my god, there's a right.
See, that's bullshit. That first one I could forgive, but that second one, no fucking way.
Well, now again, let me ask Mark this because I mean,
Boneyard man.
This is
I think this is the one that I think looks kind of insane, just because of his reflex.
What?
Exactly.
It's already locked onto him.
Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as he zooms down, he's already got the guy. He's already tracking the guy through his scope from across the map. Watch it again.
Yep.
Dude.
Bang, straight away. Exactly. At that range too, get fucked. And then it goes up to the second guy. No way.
But see, some of these PC players with mouse and keyboard, Mark.
He's using a controller.
Huh?
He's using a controller.
Yeah, was the other one? Was the other guy though? The first guy that we saw?
This is the same guy.
The same guy? Okay.
This dude, look at him. He looks like a fucking cheater. Look at him.
And then after he got called out, he kept streaming and everyone was going at him and all that type of stuff. And he had people come onto his Discord and talking about him. Some people were just going at him, ripping him to shreds. Other people were kind of being a bit, yeah, whatever. But then he had some people that were saying like, "Hey, let me look through your PC and all that type of stuff." And he was kind of acting like he didn't really know what was going on. So he was either just putting on like an act and like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about," or he really was dumb. But in my personal opinion, I think he was cheating. But the bigger problem with this is Warzone really needs anti-cheat programs because anyone can do it. You can go into like any lobby and be cheating your ass off, especially in a competition like that for $250,000. And the next one was, yeah, I do think he was cheating, but how does Twitch Rivals prove that he was when they're going to give out bans to him? Because they're the ones that came out and say, yeah, we're kicking you out because you're cheating. So now everyone goes and swarms on it. Because what if he is actually innocent? I don't think he is, but what if he is?
Well, what is how widespread of a problem is this in
Huge.
Warzone? Is it?
It's every lobby that Uche goes in, there's cheaters. I know that.
No, it is actually pretty big, especially for a game like Warzone. You'd think Warzone would have anti-cheat, but nope.
We actually easy anti-cheat was what they were using in Halo. I noticed the other day, and a lot of anti-cheat programs can get a little bit controversial because a lot of them require a high level of access. I'll try to speak in as layman's terms as I possibly can because I don't even honestly understand a lot of it. But they require a high level of access to your computer, and a lot of people worry that could compromise some of your personal information or other things you have stored. And so there's tons of developers that don't want to do it because it gives them usually shines some controversy on them. But most Ubisoft games have anti-cheat. I know EA games do, like Apex and things like that. Halo does. Valorant does, obviously. That was kind of one of the controversial ones. But I'm actually kind of surprised that Call of Duty doesn't. But you're right. I don't think I've ever noticed them like loading up an anti-cheat program.
Yeah, and I mean, again, we're talking about the biggest game, and again, this kind of makes me not want to play. Like, I just started playing Warzone, but it's kind of takes you and kind of looks at it differently because how the hell you can't even compete with shit like that? I mean, I'm already bad enough as it is, you know, and then you're gonna be cheating. That's frustrating. But this game, I mean, Warzone is right there with Fortnite and some of these like the most viewed games, the most played games. Obviously, Call of Duty's the biggest selling game of the year, and the fact that they haven't taken steps to prevent this stuff. And then I'm seeing people in the chat just say, "Yeah, this is a massive problem in Warzone."
Every time I've ever died, it's from cheaters.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, basically, you're a bitch if you kill me in Warzone, and you're a bitch if I kill you. That's how Call of Duty goes.
Hey, could we see his apology tweet real quick? Did we ever take a look at his apology? I saw it on the video for a split second.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, let me. I'll see here. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with this dude. If this is like the same guy, maybe Lethal knows because he watched this whole video.
I can't see.
I don't know if, or here we go. During the Twitch Rivals Dorito Bowl featured Call of Duty Warzone final, Metzi B was ruled to be cheating. As a result, his team was removed from the event. We take Twitch Rivals seriously.
I think it was, oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, I apologize for that, which will mean very little to a lot of you, and I know that. I didn't want to take it any further, but no one else seemed to care, bar one or two. And he asked if I'd talk to him so he can prove he was clean, which he did. So this is not really an apology from that dude. This is from someone else, like that.
I guess one of his teammates.
Yeah, let me check. I'll look up Tommy.
I think that's the guy that called him out. I think. But there's another clip on this video where it shows this girl streamer, and you should see the way she gets killed. Like, it's a fucking cheat. This one. Watch this one.
Here's the silver lining to this is that before you play it, hang on, is that with this, if it seems like this situation is getting a lot of attention, and maybe if enough people can make noise and point this out, maybe they can start addressing this problem, this widespread problem.
Yeah, the downside to that is it means that they can use it as an excuse to make you install more and more invasive anti-cheat software, though, which is not necessarily necessary for a lot of games. There was a big controversy earlier this year with Doom Eternal adding de novo anti-cheat software, which you required even if you didn't play the multiplayer. So like all of a sudden they were putting de novo anti-cheat on what was for a lot of people a single player game because it has a multiplayer component and it was affecting game performance even in the campaign. So there's downsides to anti-cheat as well.
Wow.
Yeah. This is that female streamer Lethal's talking about. She's got 3,721 subscribers on Twitch.
Making 15 grand a month.
Yeah, you'd think for that she'd maybe fucking take a shower and put herself together before you go on stream, but there you go. Here she is.
Craziest skill cam I've ever seen in my life.
Cracked up his goddamn.
Wrecked.
But watch how she died. Oh, there you are. Get fucked. No
It
UAV.
saddens me
nothing.
that he's rocking my country's flag.
No UAV. Nothing. And what? This is fucking bad. This one.
It doesn't matter about your stick. You're still moving your stick to put your aim on them. Watch it.
Oh, is this? Is he in the air?
Does this.
Watch his gun.
Look, before you've even gone in aim.
No way.
Wow.
He's cheating.
Before you've even aimed in. I want an apology from youngsters as well. I go through every kill of yours. Every kill. And it's this.
Dude, hats off to the people who were able to find these things, because I don't think I would have noticed.
Yeah.
I think if I was watching it,
Oh, come on.
some I would have been like, "Nah, that's sus."
All divides, but I can't.
I would
That's
not.
crazy.
I would not have any idea. I would have no fucking idea. Like, I don't know.
There's been a couple times I was playing Valorant that I got clearly killed through a wall, and that's when it's like, okay, like there's no way. I know this map well enough to know that you cannot shoot through that wall. Some of the walls you can shoot through depending on the weapon you're using in Valorant, but there are times I'm like, okay, that's probably a cheater. For the most part, I didn't really care. That was just like, okay, well, this game will be over
very
eventually.
interesting anti-cheat scandal with Valorant when it came out.
Yeah,
right?
well, because
That's what you're talking about.
I did kind of mention it. Basically, it was one that gives you what's known as rootkit access to your PC, meaning like the highest level of security that your system has, essentially like administrator access. That is the most effective type of anti-cheat software, because anything else, you could be running a cheat program that could exist on top of that. And people are saying Valorant has anti-cheat. Yeah, it's not perfect still. There are still cheaters in Valorant, but that was kind of the thing that made Valorant very controversial when it launched, that it's the level of access its anti-cheat has to your computer. Also, Valorant is Riot Games, and Riot Games is 100% owned by Tencent, so that led people to say like you're basically giving the Chinese government access to your PC. I don't do my banking on my PC, so I'm not like super worried about it, but like I usually, even in the preview of the beta that I did, I started with saying I've sacrificed my computer security to tell you about Valorant. To kind of try to make a joke about it.
Haha.
Haha, Mark, good job. That was funny. Haha.
Well, okay.
It killed with the people that understand the plane of existence that Mark exists on. I can tell you that.
Mark operates on
so-
a different level. So
Well, I'm just saying that, like, I'm not denying that those problems are there. It's just I didn't really care all that much, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
what's up, T-Rep?
So Mark, is the anti-cheating software like a computer scan that scans your computer for any sort of cheating software? Is it kind of like a drug test before a professional athlete competes?
In a way, yes, but apparently it's the rootkit is where the anti-cheat software needs to operate. Otherwise, there's no way to 100% to be 100% sure that a program is not operating a layer beneath that. Now, I'm not a computer science guy. I know a little bit about it based on what I researched from mostly that Valorant controversy, but yeah, like most people were pissed off at the level of access that Vanguard, which is their anti-cheat program, gave to your computer, and so they didn't want to play Valorant because of it. But I think the funny thing was, I think Easy Anti-Cheat is also rootkit, and that's on like Division and like Rainbow Six, like all of Ubisoft's games, and there was no controversy there. But like, I don't know. People get mad about the things they get mad about, and
Yeah.
That's true. I get mad.
Well, they definitely need to address this. I mean, you don't have the biggest game of the year that's widespread run with these problems. They need to do something. But I mean, Mark said, it's got its positives and its negatives, though.
Yeah, and
Again, like I watch a few streamers, and I feel like the more you think about it, like higher end Warzone players, you see a lot of sus stuff. Like I don't want to accuse the guy, but you know that Zlander guy that Dr. Disrespect plays with?
yeah.
Quite a few times I think that's fucking bullshit when the stuff he does. Like, how is he just?
That's what I mean. I just don't I'm not good enough to understand if it's someone who's just way better than me, or if it's.
Well, it's so hard to figure out. Okay, so again, like I was telling you guys last night, like I was playing Warzone solos, and I had like 4 kills, and they were so much like better than anything I normally do. It just the moment, like I don't know. There's just sometimes you just snap on somebody. You know what I mean? Like I landed in a pretty hot spot. I killed these 4 people in ridiculous style. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm pretty damn badass. And then I'm fucking holding a goddamn grenade and blow myself up and I die because I'm a fucking idiot. But if you look at those individual kills, those moments, I look like I'm like king shit, you know? But I'm not. I'm not good at the game. These guys are professionals. So it's hard for me to kind of differentiate with like, okay, the pistol in the air, that is obvious to me. But everything else, I don't know if it's blatant as it is. I mean, I have kills and I'm not good, and I have kills that look like I am on point sometime. You just have those moments where you snap on somebody and you're like, holy fuck, that was badass or whatever. But I'm not good. I don't know. It's a very difficult thing to look at these in isolation and see. These are professional people that are far beyond somebody like me, but I have my moments where I have a good kill here and there.
Yeah. To me, it was the quick scope. The quick scope, like across the whole airport, that was the one that
was
like,
insane.
I don't know about that shot. Like that could just be really lucky that you were aiming in and happened to aim in directly on your target. But like the odds of that,
the second one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you saw the other guy up there, like with a mouse, you can move from one target at the bottom to a target on the, like it's a window, right? So as long as you know you're moving to the window, I don't think that's as crazy. But the initial shot, I was like, wow. You just quick scope that person from like 400 yards away. Like that was a little insane.
I think at the end of the day, like I think a lot of streamers and stuff like that who want to come off looking really good, who want to get subs, who want to like get all that stuff and be an entertaining streamer to watch. They probably a lot of them probably do you know use some aimbots at times
or win a $250,000 prize. Like
that's the difference, right? Is that when you are now live streaming something in a tournament that has a $250,000 prize.
Yeah, like change your life money on the line. It's
all eyes are going to be on you for that. So that's the biggest difference, I believe.
But going on Jeremy's point, like from Twitch Rivals' perspective, is like, okay, how do you rule that? Because I mean, it's not like they can just grab his PC and go through it. Like, yeah, they had one guy on Discord that was like going through it on his end, but there also has to be a process of ruling and confirming that you did do it, because this was just like a few players saying, hey, I think this is sus, and the footage is very, very sus, but it's not definitive proof.
Yeah, and if anybody knows anything about playing Call of Duty, you're almost all like accusing your opponent of cheating that has been around for as long as multiplayer has been a thing.
Yeah, I think like a standard multiplayer match, though, saying, "Oh, dude, you're totally cheating," is a bit different than like $250,000 cash prize.
No, I get it.
Like we said, Uche's only ever been killed by cheaters.
That's right.
These fools are cheating, man. All right, let's take a look at some of these super chats. Donut Swan for $2. These guys must be cheating because I never lose. There it is. Thank you, Donut Swan. Chris Arcella for $5. Ryan, my 2 sets hurt. Can I visit your nut post to get a checkup? Yeah, so Chris Arcella is talking about Echo Base Network, who so kindly put in a thumbnail. They spelled my name Ryan Kennel, parentheses, RK nut post. They used the N instead of the O somehow. They apologized, but now it's got me thinking of a name change, honestly. So I think it could be good. Maybe that'd be my porn name if we ever go that way. RK Nut Post. Thank you, Chris. Blue-Eyed Scorpion for $2. Tom Brady's been using aimbot for 20 years.
The GOAT. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Mexican Iron Man for $20. Excellent coverage. RK, Lethal, Mark, and T-Rev are great assets to G&G. I love FPS games, and cheats suck. By the way, thanks, T-Rev. I'm officially hooked on Fact Blast. Can we get Mexican, stunning, and brave representation in version 2.0? Just
get some Ivan. Yeah, I would love to have Ivan riding a donkey in Fact Blast.
Oh, that's Ivan?
So, no, that wasn't. But
okay,
that's Mexican Iron Man, huge supporter of a lot of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Mexican Iron Man. He's one of the ones who donated. I saw that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Ivan's powers, he can edit the level in real time.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys for those super chats. Now, speaking of people not being able to play anymore, this is not because of getting caught cheating. This is because they insulted the devs, and that wasn't okay, evidently. That was crossing the line to take a little jab at devs in a tournament. So
insult is pushing it too. Like it was like a playful jab.
A little dig. It was nothing. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat Pro disqualified mid-match after mocking developer. Now, this is written from, I don't know who this J. Brody Sheary is. Seems kind of like a bitch, I'll just be honest, talking about how it's very important to address players being disqualified or banned for unsportsmanlike or downright offensive content. But he's like, but this one doesn't really seem to be that bad. As reported by Kotaku, Mortal Kombat Pro competition finalist Titanium Tigers, with 2 Z's, was abruptly disqualified from his top 8 match a few days ago after he labeled his Shiva variant, "Why did NRS do this?" Of course, NetherRealm Studios, in an apparent dig at developer NetherRealm Studios. The decision to disqualify him was a sudden one, so much so that the commentators fumbled through their announcement as they received word of the development, and they continued playing off stream before they were notified. When asked about the situation later, Titanium Tigers claimed he meant no malice towards NetherRealm with his variant label, and he gladly would have changed it had he been asked, which he says he wasn't before the disqualification. This is absolute bitch made from whoever made this decision, whether it was again, NetherRealm was part of WB Games, whether it was at that level, just the tournament level, they were too scared of someone taking a shot at NetherRealm. Like Mark said, that is not that bad.
It's borderline not even a jab. Like it's just kind of a funny joke about the character being unbalanced. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fact that you're entering a tournament saying why would NetherRealm Studio do this? Look at how much I'm kicking people's asses with this broken character.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not saying NetherRealm variant. I don't know. That's a little insane that there was any reaction at all aside from a chuckle. Never mind, banning this person from a tournament.
It's unbelievable.
Are the players not allowed to dislike a decision that was made? I think this character's a little unbalanced. Oh, you've been banned. We're just going to silence you for that. I agree. It's absolutely. This type of thing really boils my blood. Any type of censorship, any type of silencing somebody who disagrees, especially in this realm. I really hope that this gets a lot of attention, a lot of uproar.
Yeah, I mean, it represents so much more about what's going on in culture right now with this. This is insanity. This is, I mean, I don't know where's the line. And again, it kind of goes back to what like Lisa was talking about banning players for cheating. And so where's the definitive claim though? That's fine. The accusation's there. It seems like it looks bad, but how do you define it? And then how do they define this? How did they define that this was a bannable offense? I don't know.
Well, with this one, we don't really know it was the developers that said ban him, but he was taking a shot at the developers. I don't think it was the devs. I don't think they have a say in any of this shit. But that particular variation of Shiva is overpowered. It's broken. I remember back in Injustice 1 days, people would boo pro players if they picked Superman or Aquaman because they were broken. People would get booed. So this guy's picking a broken character and he's making a joke about it. By he named the variation, "Why would NetherRealm do this?" And that's what they kicked him out. I mean, myself and pretty much everyone was pissed off with how they retconned Sindel's whole backstory. I named my Sindel Empress retcon, Queen retcon, some shit like that. That's kind of taking a jab. Would I get banned for using that?
Yeah,
sounds like
apparently.
Now, I do. So this tournament is put on kind of in partnership with with the devs, with the studio, you know what I mean, to kind of promote it. So I can understand them not wanting you to just fucking flat out talk shit or disparage a company, but what happened there is the most lightest criticism you could possibly imagine. And we've seen a lot of this happen in recent years where someone who is playing your game says one thing that doesn't fall in line with whatever your ideology is, or to try to protect the company or whatever. And it is getting out of hand. We saw the Blitzchung thing with Blizzard. We're going to talk about Blizzard a little bit here, but it's not to that level, because that dude was fucking banned forever for what he said, for his political statement. But it is these tournaments are starting to be used almost as kind of these you can't say anything that goes against the grain or you will be banned. We will not let you be part of this tournament.
Yeah.
It's such a small, little, tiny thing. Like, it's not like he was cheating like the other guy.
I know.
Well, if anything, he's addressing something that I'm noticing people are saying in the chat about, like, they should probably have made it so that if Shiva, this variant of Shiva, is that broken, they probably should disqualify it for tournament play. So, I mean, he might have just been pointing out that's like, you guys honestly shouldn't be letting me use a character this broken in a tournament. So, like, I mean, you could argue that he was providing constructive criticism in an arguably just sort of cheeky way at most. Like, again, I have trouble referring to that joke as insulting. It's like, it's so like vanilla. there's hardly anything to the comment at all.
Yep, it's ridiculous.
Insulting that if he named the variation, hey, I fist blasted your mum, some shit like that. That's insulting. This is just a fucking little joke.
I see My Nerdy Home asking, so there you go. Full screen it. My Nerdy Home made that meme
God.
right there.
She's
so,
dictating the chat. She got me to go get JoJo.
So there's
What's that in the bottom right?
That's the banana that I've had in the back.
Mr. Peeler or something.
Look at the COVID safe banana.
Then we have that.
Yeah, the Bernie memes. I've been loving these. There's been so many good ones. I got one of him in a UFC fight giving an armbar with the mittens.
I am once again asking you to support geeksandgamers.com.
No refund.
No refund. No refund. No refund.
That's a fucking strange Bernie Sanders accent. You sound like you're Russian or something.
I know, that's what everybody was saying last night. Every one of us on Friday Night Titans that did it, everybody's like, you sound like a Russian.
What the fuck is that?
Isn't that where he went on his honeymoon?
Yeah, I did go to Soviet Russia. That's true. Where was I? All right. My Nerdy Home for $2. Here's money. Where's JoJo?
Right here.
I think that's what made Mark
my
grab
dog, JoJo. Yes, I saw My Nerdy Home's chat. She's hiding from the camera.
And then, of course, it was here's money. Where's Banana Jeremy? And we did see Banana Jeremy, the COVID Banana Jeremy there. So thank you, Seth, for the super chats. Yeah, the whole the idea of them banning this person over such a small offense, it is insane. Again, we don't really know too much about who made the decisions, and evidently NetherRealm and Warner Brothers didn't comment on this whole thing. So it's strange. It's bitch made. That's kind of where we are as society. They don't let you make fun of anybody over voice chat anymore. Everybody has to just be okay with everything. They should just go back to red teams and blue teams.
Yeah. Like I say, they wouldn't survive Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Alex McCarthy, every video I make now, whatever the topic is, he'll say like so-and-so couldn't handle Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. Like he was just like in my Lucasfilm video, he says Lucasfilm couldn't handle Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. It's like no matter what I say, it's so
true.
good.
That's true. Icon Alice for $5. Hello. That is all. Well, thank you, Icon Alice. We appreciate that.
You.
Hello to you too. Now, what was I gonna? Oh yeah, speaking of video games, we have, and we just talked a little bit. I mentioned Blizzard. We have some news about Blizzard and the potential Diablo 2 remake that is, supposed to be coming out sooner rather than later, I suppose. But Vicarious Visions is being absorbed into Blizzard, and apparently they are going to be tapped to work on the Diablo 2 remake. Mark, what does this mean for everyone? Is this a good thing?
No, because I don't like it anytime a not independent but individual development studio gets rolled into a larger one, because usually that means they end up just kind of losing their identity. The team members get shifted around to wherever they need to be at a time. And I honestly think that if this alleged Diablo 2 remake that they're working on happens, then it's only a matter of time before they're working on Overwatch maps, which I think is kind of sad, because Vicarious Visions, especially in the last couple of years, has been dropping like banger remakes of PlayStation 1 games. Like they did the whole Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, and just recently Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. And both of them were very, very well received as like respectful remakes that actually like captured the old style gameplay, but modernizing every other aspect of it. And considering that's the second time Tony Hawk's Pro Skater has been remade, and the first one was kind of a train wreck, it's awesome that they were able to do that. That being said, I think that Diablo 2 could use not necessarily a remake, but like a modern HD like remaster, so that you can still play Diablo 2 on modern computers and maybe even consoles. So I'm looking forward to it. Diablo 2 is my favorite Diablo game, but I'm not crazy about the fact that it means Vicarious Visions was just rolled into Blizzard, because I think that will be a net negative overall.
Yeah.
I don't really have I don't have a take on this that much. I mean, this is not, stuff. These are not my games. These aren't my wheelhouse. So Mark is the expert when it comes to this. And if Mark has an old lady dog, by the way, chat, I saw somebody say that. What do I have? My dogs must be like Betty White dogs, because my dogs are even more old lady than Mark's.
Yeah. It's like for reference, I'm also full-time Army, and I've lost a limb, so you're attacking my manliness because I have a cute dog. Like, what are you dealing with over there?
that is his dog. That is his therapy dog that he uses because of the PTSD because of his lost limb. So I hope you feel good about yourselves, everyone.
No. I just love JoJo. She's a sweet little puppy. And also my girlfriend loves her, because and we have the other dog, the kind of dog looking one. Yeah, yes, I just don't like saying the word. I just like, I'm manly enough that I think saying the word fiance sounds lame. Like I don't like it. It's too
I think
French.
asking a woman to marry you is the most beta thing you could ever do.
It is. It's I've decided to submit myself to a woman. So
I would bring my dogs on but last week Brian threatened to quit because we had too many cute dogs on the stream at one time. He's like, I'm not coming back.
Cute. I like it'd be all right if they were cute. Leia's fat as fuck right now.
She is fat.
She is fat. She's on that Jeremy COVID diet. He's just handing her Oreos. That's what's going on.
Motherfucker, that's your diet. Pizza, nachos, and cookies every time I talk to you. That's
basically
the only three things you eat.
I had pizza yesterday.
And your 20 bottles of Mountain Dew laying around in your room.
I've seen the photo of what his actual like setup looks like. It's fucking disgusting.
I cleaned everything up in here, Lethal. You can see the carpet again. I know you might not believe me, but it's true. It's true.
By the way, real quick, before we get further into it, I want to make a quick programming note. On premium membership on geeksgamers.com, we played Halo Reach a few days ago, and it was fucking fantastic. We had a lot of fun with that, and I think we're going to continue to do that in the future. That was so much fun. I haven't had that much fun just playing in a while, just because it just brought back the old school talking shit, shooting each other, Uche blaming everything on why he's not winning. It was a lot of fun, and I want to do more of that, and not just with Halo Reach, but obviously you got the Master Chief Collection, and so you have access to Halo 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually like the multiplayer on 4. I don't know if Mark, do you like the multiplayer on 4?
I like the multiplayer on 4 as well. I know that's kind of a hot take. I get that a lot of people really don't like it because of the sprinting and loadouts. For the most part, though, everyone would start with a DMR or a battle rifle, so the loadouts is really just picking if you wanted the burst fire or the semi-automatic rifle. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty good overall. It was what I like most about it, though, is it felt a lot different than Bungie multiplayer, and that's what a lot of people didn't like about it. So
yeah.
There's a lot of people that basically there's tons of people even that hate Halo Reach multiplayer because they're like, yeah, nothing will ever be better than Halo 3, and I'm like, but if they're all just Halo 3, then You could still
Yeah.
play Halo 3 multiplayer now. Assuming
Yeah,
you
but-
could actually connect, because man, the biggest thing I was getting nostalgia about the other day was my connection issues were making me remember the launch of Master Chief Collection. I was like, oh,
God.
awesome, this is broken, amazing.
That was the worst.
I got
That
into
was-
like 2 games, only one of them was a full game. The one full game I got into, though, for the record, I rocked everybody. Every other ones I was like starting late.
I will say Master Chief Collection's launch is really like a lot of people say, oh, this killed Halo for me or that killed Halo for me. Master Chief Collection is what really killed Halo for me. The launch. It was fucking like we all bought that game. We were all so excited to play it. And how long did it take them to fix that shit, Mark? It was
it was 2 years.
Fucking terrible. It was absolutely embarrassing.
It's arguably not fixed now.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was fixed, but I hadn't played since I did a review on the Gaming with Geeks channel of the Halo Reach campaign, and around that time I was playing a fair amount of the multiplayer and I was having 0 issues. But sometime between then and now, like all of a sudden my computer just does not seem to want to properly connect to a Halo match.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it was really annoying.
Yeah.
I
But a
miss
lot of
Halo
fun.
so much.
A lot of fun. And if you guys want to see more of that, go to geeksandgamers.com.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was fun as hell. So
Hey,
we
do you guys
won't
ever
play
play
as
Smash?
Our problem with Smash is that the lag online is so bad. But Krista actually does a Smash stream on her channel. What day do you do that, Chris? Is that tonight you're doing that? Is this Saturdays? Oh.
Yes, it's tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. So,
Yeah, I'm 3 followers away from 1.3K on Twitch.
Lit.
Hey,
nice.
It's
Nice.
AM.
It's been doing great.
Thank
So
you all
yeah,
so
so
much.
yeah, so good job, Krista.
Gracias.
All right.
Get rid of it now. Thank you.
yeah, I know that the lag can be just cancer sometimes on Smash, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's all right. My best friend in Smash is in Ireland, and he and I throw down just fine all the time. But if you guys ever do end up playing, yeah, I'd love to throw down.
Heck yeah, I'll let you know. I mean, I'm sure Krista would have you on if you wanted to join her tonight. She's pretty good at it, and they have a lot of fun. But yeah, the sky's the limit. We want to play as much gaming as we possibly can, especially right now. I just want to fucking shoot people in the face in video games and fact blast. That's
like
it.
Halo, like legit playing that brought up like so many old memories for that.
Mhm. Yeah, it did.
And it is just different. And obviously, we played a little bit of SWAT on there, which was fun. Mark hated it, but it was more fun to have Uche be like, "This don't require no skill. This is easy." Why you bought him then? But you know,
the only thing I can claim to have like done okay in that SWAT match that I got into on Beaver Creek was that when I joined the game, the first time I checked the scoreboard, I had 2 kills and Jeremy had 21. The game ends at 25, and I got to 11 by the time Jeremy won the game.
Right, but again,
said that he was
I was looking for
kill me as this.
I was looking for Ryan to be my final kill, and I kept getting it. It was fucking me up big time.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
But playing classic Slayer with no sprint, like just the intensity of being like face to face with someone, like maybe they're charging you with an energy sword, they can't run. Like it's very interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too, because when we first started playing, everyone was like, "Oh God, you can't sprint. This sucks." I was like, "No, guys, trust me. Like, just give it some time, and you'll realize that it makes the actual gunfights a bit better when you can't just sprint away when the fight's half over. Like you have to stay and fight. Like that's kind of what makes Halo multiplayer pretty solid."
I miss it so much, man. Like the day I bought my PlayStation 4, I almost had a tear coming down my eye because it means I could no longer play Halo.
Yeah. Just put it on your PC.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for Mark to say that. I can't
well,
believe Ryan said
I
that.
know Lethal doesn't have a PC. I'm debating though, if I get myself a new laptop, I might just like sell Lethal mine, like find out how much it costs to ship to Australia and give him like
probably more than what it's worth.
Yeah, maybe I don't
know. Good guy, Mark. Good guy, Mark.
Love Halo.
Yeah, but trying to bring it back and wrap it up a little bit, you know, the fact that Vicarious Vision Blizzard is kind of more concerned about Diablo 2, about getting this remake out, I think a lot of people are still waiting to hear what the fuck is going on with Diablo 4. They don't care about mobile games. Diablo 2 remake could be cool, but a lot of people are ready for the next actual step.
Apparently, though, Blizzard Team 3, once Blizzard Team 1, like the Warcraft Reforged people were fucking up the Diablo 2 remake. Blizzard Team 3, who were the people who were developing Diablo 4, got brought on to help with Diablo 2. And that was before Vicarious Visions was brought on. So I have a feeling Diablo 4 is a while off. Yeah. So I wouldn't expect Diablo 4 anytime soon.
Like, and imagine after that disastrous, you guys have phones, right?
Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, don't you guys have phones? Like, after that, you would have thought that they would be like, all right, guys, it's pretty obvious they really want they want Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Like, you would, like, it's pretty fucking obvious. And the fact that we haven't heard really anything about that in the several years since is
actually no, SkillUp had a preview of Diablo Immortal and says it's actually really good.
The mobile game?
Yeah, like apparently it's got like kind of all the best aspects of Diablo 3, but the build that he played had no microtransactions. So he's like, I can't talk at all about how shitty they're going to make the monetization, but he's like, what you played though in the demo build they gave him though was actually like surprisingly awesome. So I mean, good on them for that, but I don't think anyone wanted the iPhone or Android phone Diablo game realistically.
No, but your phone's more powerful than the Switch, right, Mark?
Yes, most of our phones I'd say would be. I don't know what phones exactly you guys have, but
not yours. You have a fucking iPhone.
I got an iPhone 10. No, my iPhone 10 is more powerful than the Switch.
No, it's not.
The Switch is not a powerful tablet, guys.
I have a Note 20 Ultra.
They make good games on the
market. Best phone on the market right there.
I don't know how you guys could tell what model a phone is by just holding it up on a.
It's a Note. Everybody knows I have a Note 20
Ultra.
Yeah,
it's a rectangle.
Yeah, Note 20 Ultra is the best phone. It's not even close.
Yeah, like everyone, if you hold up a phone, all I'm seeing is a rectangular screen, no matter what kind of phone it is.
This motherfucker, look.
Yeah, it looks like all other phones.
No, that is not. That is not an other phone. That is a Note.
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it on like a low resolution screen that is boxed in.
Can you read this?
Mark sucks. Yes, I can.
Yeah, there you go. Look what my phone can do.
Okay, speech.
It can write notes.
S20.
That's okay. That's
if you're actually telling me what your phones are, I can know what type they are. But chances are they're all more powerful than Switches, which is why I think Switch needs a Plus version or Pro version.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
What type of phone do you have, T-Rev? Do you have an Android or?
Got the iPhone 12 a couple weeks ago.
God damn it! I had
so
for
you.
Is it because you don't really give a shit about using your phone other than the things you generally use a phone for?
Yeah, pretty much. I know that they say, oh, yeah, you got more like freedom with Android and whatnot. But I mean,
damn it, these tech
I'm just like, can I look at Twitter? Can I check my email? Cool, it's fine. Like,
so and you have an iPhone.
No, I'm a Terminator 1 guy.
No, I know you. That's your one redeeming quality.
Thank
you like Terminator 1.
Oh, does that get me permanently banned?
Yeah, ban him. Ban anyone that likes Terminator 2.
You can't be on the full Aussie until you do at least one porno movie.
Oh, man.
I think I got lethal with that
one. Yes, but Android is the way. Now, again, top tier Android, because I've heard so many people that don't know phones and they're like, oh, I got an Android. I got it for free from Boost Mobile. It was shitty. That's not a flagship Android. That's not a Note. If you experience a Note, you will never touch an iPhone again. It's that simple.
I think honestly,
throw it off a bridge.
As much as I was debating upgrading my phone because I'm due for one, I think the biggest reason I'm probably still going to get an iPhone is because X-Ray Girl will be pissed that she can't send me iMessages anymore, like the blue text bubble. She's just gonna be like,
oh, green. Oh no.
I think no, it's not. It's because it's actually going through like the internet as opposed to like your cell carrier service. But she would actually, I think, like stop texting me, which would hurt my communication with my fiance. Happy everyone.
Wait till you're married a couple years, you'll be running for that Android. We got a couple super chats. Ryan Eisenberg for $5. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Ryan. I like your name. 2-inch Kennel. Not a big fan of that one. For $2. When is stream over? Hail Drum 3PO. Hey Tina Heart. Stream will be over soon. My Nerdy Home for $2. Here's money. Show Leia crying face. Leia's probably eating.
She's probably eating. She's probably eating.
We still got to talk about Resident Evil as well.
Oh God! All right, we'll do that quick. It was not the title. It's not the title, so we don't have to. Culture Casino for $5. Guess Lethal found my prawn movie. Then I was on the full Aussie this morning. Surprised it's still out there.
He was. It was fantastic. We talked about all manner of things that I can't mention here.
There you go. Well, speaking of video games, like Mark said, we got some Resident Evil information a couple days ago. Let us know what we need to know about that, Mark.
So, prior to the big Resident Evil event that they had a couple days ago, the meme of the tall vampire lady was going around the internet and kind of blowing it up. So, if you've seen a tall, large-breasted woman in a white hat, that's probably the main antagonist, or at least the follower villain, like the nemesis for Resident Evil 8 Village. We also got some details about it, so it is for sure coming out on PS4 and Xbox One in addition to the new consoles and PC. Of course, PlayStation had to pay for them for some exclusive content, so right now there is an exclusive demo on PS5 that I actually haven't got around to playing yet. It's not on PS4, only PS5, and they're also getting like a soundtrack or something with the game. So at least it's not a full-on VR mode, but like the PSVR version of Resident Evil 7 had. The downside to that is they didn't announce a VR mode at all. So Resident Evil 8, despite being a first-person game like Resident Evil 7, it may or may not have VR if you care about that. And the thing that no one cares about, and I don't know why Resident Evil keeps doing this, is they announced yet another Resident Evil like multiplayer product that is coming with Resident Evil 8 called Resident Evil... Shit, I now forget what it's called. It was that forgettable. Rewind or something like that. But anyways...
It's some shit.
Yeah, I forget. RE and something, but it's the weirdest looking thing because it's like deathmatch with the Resident Evil 2 and 3 mechanics, but like it's like you're playing as Leon Kennedy fucking shooting Claire. And
really?
Like, just they were showing that, they're like, yeah, it's like a new Resident Evil multiplayer experience. And I'm sitting there, I was like, no one cares. No one cares about multiplayer Resident Evil. Why do you keep putting resources? Reverse, that was it. I knew it was something with that. But yeah, they're like, oh, it's for the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil. We're doing something very special and making it so that you can play as Jill Valentine shooting Chris Redfield in the face. It's like,
and then he turns into Nemesis.
It's one of those things that try to be like, oh yeah, but you can turn into a zombie and then it's like, God, stop. Just put your resources into making Resident Evil 8 better. Like, no one cares about your multiplayer modes. They didn't for Resistance, which was the one that came with Resident Evil 3 and was probably why they were trying to justify charging full price for Resident Evil 3, even though it was like a 4-hour game that seemed like it was DLC for 2. And,
I haven't been plugged into Resident Evil in a long time. 4 was my favorite. I played Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 4 was my favorite. 5 really turned me off to the franchise. I felt like it was stuff.
I recommend giving 7 a shot. 7.
You've told me this in the past. Yeah,
it's really scary.
Now, how does 7 compare to 4?
Different. It's closer in tone to Resident Evil 1 in tone specifically. It's first person, so it plays differently, but it's much more survival horror-ish than the last few. Like, it's not really much of an action game, with the exception of like every Resident Evil game, even the original one. The last like 20 minutes or so is a lot of gunfights, but other than that, it's like you're in a residential area, like a house in the Louisiana Bayou, and there's a family of kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre-y people that have some mystery to them. The story is a little silly because it's a Resident Evil game, though it spends about a good 70% of the game being pretty serious and frightening. So that's the one I'd recommend. It's probably the closest to being as good as 4 that they've come to since 4. And 8 looks like more of 7.
I hear that they're remaking 4 as well. Or I mean, well, that is happening, but they've delayed it, right? what's going on with that? Like,
I don't know that they've really specifically announced too much about it. It's just, I think Capcom has said that they're looking into doing Resident Evil 4 as the next remake project, and that it was going to be the team who worked on Resident Evil 3 doing it. So I'm hoping that means that they have more time, because 3 seemed like it was kind of a rush job. A lot of content was cut out of the original PlayStation 1 game, so it was pretty short, and it basically just seemed like more of Resident Evil 2 with a dodge move. I've got a review of that one, though, that I think should be on, like, it's on the Geeks and Gamers playlist on my channel, at least, because it was on the old Gaming with Geeks channel. But I don't know. I think 4 could end up being really solid, because even going back and playing 4, the controls are a little on the stiff side. Like, not being able to move at all while you're aiming is a little weird, and things like not being able to turn the camera with the right stick properly is a bit strange too. Once you get used to the controls, 4 still holds up pretty well, but I think 4 could use an extra coat of paint, as much as a lot of people are like, no, 4 is already perfect. It's like, I don't know. 4 is showing its age a little bit. The big thing about 8, though, is they seem to be calling back to 4 a lot. Like, they have the inventory system with, like, the kind of Tetris pieces where every item has, like, a shape to it, and you have, like, a grid that you place your items in, so if you do more micromanaged inventory management, you can fit more stuff. And there's also a merchant. I was a little pissed that it wasn't. I was pissed, though, that they didn't just use the "what are you buying" guy. Because if he was back, I would have been like, yes.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
I was like, if you're going to do a merchant, why make it a new guy? Just have it be the same merchant dude. But it's a big kind of fat guy, but he did look pretty interesting, too. And it seems that the antagonists are a cult of oddly attractive vampire women. So, yeah, I don't know. And May 7th is when it comes out as well.
I've had a very casual... I'm a very casual kind of guy when it comes to Resident Evil. I've played some of the games, never really been their biggest fan. I thought the 3 remake was dog shit. I hated it. I thought it was terrible. Way too short, a rip-off. I've been told 7's pretty good, but from what I've seen of 8, everything apart from the multiplayer looks pretty good to me, but I don't really want to buy any more PlayStation 4 games. I want to save up and get a PlayStation 5. I
mean, if you is 7. Oh no, you don't get the PlayStation Classics game if you don't have a PS5, right? Anyways, 7 though, I'd recommend checking out if you think 8's good.
Yeah, it's like $20 on PlayStation Store. So
I think 8 is going to, for the most part, be more of 7. Granted, with different scenery and much different enemies by the look of it, but it seems like the gameplay looks very similar to Resident Evil 7. And 7, like the RE engine runs spectacularly well, even on like the old gen consoles. Like, I was super impressed with how good they made Resident Evil 7, 2, and despite its shortcomings, 3 looked really good and ran really well as well. So I wholeheartedly recommend Resident Evil 7.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, there you go. So there's your Resident Evil news. Now, before we do kind of wrap it up, for everybody that may have been here or may have gotten here a little bit later, we do have T-Rev on the channel as our guest today. He is the creator of the highly popular Fact Blast, which unfortunately has made Jeremy's ego just that much bigger. For everybody else here, again, T-Rev, why don't you give another kind of introduction about yourself and how you made Fact Blast for all those people that are new to the stream.
Oh, sure. For anybody who missed it, I've been a fan of Geeks and Gamers for about 3 years, ever since The Last Jedi came out, and Jeremy wasn't a big fan of it. And I used to always watch his live streams, how he would say, swig of apple juice for the working man. And then I had just had the idea of come into my head from watching an old Angry Video Game Nerd episode when somebody had made video games about him, and I thought, oh, what if there was a Geeks and Gamers game? And I started writing the code and drawing the characters and animating them, and piece by piece it just kind of came together. Reached out to Jeremy, and I had no idea whether this thing was going to be successful or not. The whole time making it, I knew there's a chance Jeremy might not even ever acknowledge it, and if that's the case, I'm okay with that. And so I took the risk, and here we are.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And like I said earlier too, so basically, we have discussed the potential of working on another video game and having more direct involvement with Geeks and Gamers and you. So for the people that we talked about this earlier, tell them exactly what you're looking for if anybody's out there willing to volunteer, because you've had a few people mention that they would love to help in the future. So this took you about 2 years. We obviously don't want to have a 2-year project on our hands. You did this all by yourself, so we would need help from people that can help you in the process. So what would you be looking for people to volunteer and help out?
Yes, anybody who is willing to volunteer and come on and help with this next project, first of all, understand that it's not really about the monetary gain, but more so for the passion of Geeks and Gamers, just making another game. And looking for 2 people to join. One would be a pixel art artist who could draw all the characters and would have be able to improve the graphics of the game and do the animations. The other one would be a video game music composer.
I love the music from Fact Blast too. You guys did a good job on that. And and by the way,
I hated the fucking Chicago level because it just reminds me of the snowflakes and the fucking Twitter birds. So I did not like that one.
There's snowflakes on that level for a reason.
Yeah. And you did add a health bar to the bosses in the game, which I'd said would probably help. And but yeah, it's really exciting. So if anybody out there is interested in helping with the future project, you can shoot me an email, Jeremy at geeksandgamers.com, Krista at geeksandgamers.com. That's Krista's email. Or we're going to get something set up for TREV2 where you can contact him. And anything you send me, I'm going to forward to him anyway, because he's the one that's going to have to be able to make those, the actual decisions as far as the details of who could be helping out. But we want to make this happen. We want to have more involvement from the Geeks and Gamers team in terms of their personalities and everything like that. It will be a different game than Fact Blast. It won't be exactly the same. We want to definitely upgrade and have a better experience, even though I'm fairly happy with what we have. But yeah, it's great having you on, man. And very cool to have a Geeks and Gamers video game.
Thank you. Last thing, just a shameless plug. My YouTube channel is TREV the Game Dev. Everybody could subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out some pretty cool videos soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Please subscribe. Man. Please subscribe. We want to. It won't happen today, but we'll make an effort to get you to 1,000 subs for sure over the next couple of weeks. We'll get some shout outs to get you over 1,000 subs. So
sounds
absolutely great. We have a $2 super chat from Forge. Have any of you guys managed to get a 30 series card? Mark?
Yeah.
I believe Mark's the only one.
Yeah, no, I got a 3090 for myself, and for Christmas I got X-Ray Girl a 3070.
Hey, what does Jeremy have in his
3080?
I think. Yeah,
one in between X-Ray Girls and mine.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So yeah, a couple of us have. Now we always end the stream by talking about what we've been playing this week. So we'll start with Lethal and head around. Lethal, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, not a whole lot, actually. It's been a bit of a pretty quiet week for me. Cold War, Warzone, Destiny, and Avengers. That's it.
Nice. Avengers still.
Nigerian
Nigerian Prince Jeremy would have gone with the opposite strategy that Xbox did. He would not have lowered. He would not have reverted. He would have just tripled it. So thank you.
Nigerian Prince Jeremy is one of the best accounts, man. Like he's always like, he's like, hey man, just send me an email. I'll hook you up. Like he's all.
That's been around for years as well.
Jeremy, what have you been playing?
Warzone. I've been playing Warzone, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I did play Animal Crossing with the ladies last week on the girls' stream, and played Halo. I'm loving playing Halo again. I think Ryan said it best. It did. It brings up all these memories, all this shit talking. We were pretty hyped, and we were talking a lot of shit during that Halo stream. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fuck yous. No, fuck you. Oh, fuck you, bitch. And then Uche accusing us of cheating because that's what he does. But yeah, it's great playing Halo again. It really is. And I don't, we're just playing with each other in terms of like these private lobbies because I think we would get. I have played a few matches of SWAT and it's pretty pathetic when I get in there with these guys that have literally just been playing Halo for the past 5 years. It's pretty ugly getting in those lobbies. Like
so that's what I used to be like.
Yeah.
A lot of the PC players have only been playing for the last year because sorry, Harley, stop it.
Sorry.
The Mogwai's barking. But a lot of the PC players at least have only been playing for like the last year, I guess, because that's when Master Chief came out. But they did launch crossplay in November, so maybe it might it might now be swarmed with a lot of experienced veterans
Oh
as
man,
well.
these guys are ridiculous. Like I just spawn and I just get headshot every time on SWAT, but it's fun because I do get at least 2 kills every match.
There you go. Mark, did you say?
I saw people go like, "Man, Jeremy's good at Halo." Motherfucker, I ain't good at Halo. We all sucked in those lobbies. I just had a couple of good matches in SWAT. I'm not good at Halo. I'm still trying to. My big problem with Halo too is like the control. I mean, like your Xbox controller, like it's all over the place. I just want this to be my sprint, but I have to hit LB for sprint, and I'm all jacked up when it comes to Halo controllers. Go ahead, Mark. Say it. Mouse and keyboard.
Well, yes, I think you should be using mouse and keyboard. You're playing on PC. It'll wean you off that auto aim that all you kids are hooked onto too. You're actually aiming at the things you're shooting at and having to do it yourself. It's the way adults do it. But anyways, is it my turn or Jeremy? Were you playing other stuff?
No,
I just didn't want to launch into the stuff I was playing.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
But yeah, so I finished my second playthrough of Half-Life Alyx. My audio for the review's recorded, and basically for the rest of the weekend, I'm going to be working on my review. I've also had to play Half-Life 2 Episode 2 that I may have to finish because I referenced the ending. So that might be a lot of what I'm doing today. And in an effort to show Jeremy some examples of arena shooters we could play other than Halo, I downloaded Quake Live, which is basically an HD version of Quake 3, as well as Quake Champions, and I'm kind of hooked on Quake Champions. The first game I played, I had like a 4.5 KD and just absolutely owned everybody in the lobby, and I was like, oh man, I forgot how good I am at Quake. I think there might be some kind of skill-based matchmaking though, because now every single match I fight, I'm at the bottom of every leaderboard. I was like, oh, I think I did too well on my first game, and like now if I manage to have like a 1.1 KD, I'm just like yes. But no, Quake Champions is a lot of fun. It's free. You can pay to unlock other characters to play as. I did pay to unlock the Doomslayer. There are hero abilities in it, which are they're balanced well enough that I don't find they break the game or like totally destroy the competitive arena shooter aspects of it. But the Doomslayer's ultimate is you hit F and then the like Mick Gordon music starts playing and you get like a berserk power up and you basically do like ultra high damage 2-hit kill punches and can run really fast. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with Quake Champions. I'd never tried it prior to like a couple days ago, and
I would love
really good.
I'd love for us to play some Quake for premium members. That would be a lot of fun, and I still want to look into getting like Modern Warfare 2 and running some private games. Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops. That would be a lot of fun. And I don't
Black Ops. I have Modern Warfare 2. I'd have to buy.
No, I would get it for you if we were going to play it. I'd buy it for everybody on the team. So
there you go. T-Rev, what have you been playing this week?
Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Again, I challenge all of you to come catch these hands. Phasmophobia. And unfortunately, I hopped on some Battlefront 2 last night.
Oh, God, that sucks.
You poor soul.
Yeah. Did you find a lobby? Was there enough people playing?
They've got more players playing now than they ever have, Ryan.
Really?
Yeah, because they put it out for free on PC.
Oh, I guess that's true. You're right. It is free now.
Yeah. On the Epic Store.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's not free. It costs your soul.
Yeah, I you might want to play. I would be interested to see you play Andrew and Krista at Smash Bros. Because Andrew's really good. He's been playing for a while. Krista's relatively new to Smash, but she's actually really good.
She's annoyingly fucking good.
I know. Same with Call of Duty.
Stupid fucking missile, like her Samus missiles and shit. I fucking hate it, man.
Bring her in. Let's see if she's still there.
She's not here. She left.
She left. She said, "Fuck y'all."
She got abused too often.
But yeah, no, T-Rev, we would love having you on, man, and I'm sure we're gonna have you on more in the future, and we got a lot of good things in the works. So, man, thanks for everything you've done though with the video game. It's really cool.
Thank you all for having me. It's been great meeting all of you, and yes, I will be putting in some work here pretty soon. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Go subscribe to T-Rev, the game dev.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, man. We are going to send you guys over to Park Hoppin' because Park Hoppin' just went live. So Park Hoppin'. There we go. put that link in the chat. You guys go there, say Hail Drunk 3PO. Make sure you mention Gina Carano in some way, shape, or form. He always loves that. Let me get that out of there real quick. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to all my guests, Lethal, well, the host, Lethal, Jeremy, Mark the Cyborg, and to our special guest, T-Rev. Play Fact Blast, support T-Rev, subscribe to his channel, all those good things. And we will talk to you next time right here on Geeks and Gamers. Same time, same place. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
Bye.